management, ownership, or production of Glory 93.9 FM.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madeira Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Good morning and welcome to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm, and it's always a pleasure to be in your company. Thank you so much for tuning in today, whether it be via radio on Glory 93.9 on the FM dial, or whether it be via the TuneIn app, or whether you are checking us out on Facebook. However you got here, thank you so much for being here today. Today we're going to be talking about an issue that is really becoming a big problem here in the Bahamas since COVID-19. It was a problem before, but now it's really escalated. And it's not just a problem that is being experienced here in the Bahamas, but really around the world. And I'm talking about the problem of homelessness. A lot of Bahamians have found themselves now with no home because of COVID-19. Millions of people around the world have lost their jobs, and with no income, many people have lost their homes. In fact, an estimated 150 million people around the world do not have a home as we speak. 150 million people around the world do not have a home. Lack of affordable accommodation has contributed to this problem. Obviously, unemployment, which has been escalated thanks to the many shutdowns, lockdowns of COVID-19 around the world, and people losing their jobs, businesses going out of, closing up shop. Family breakdown was a problem before COVID, which led to people being homeless. And obviously that is continuing to contribute to the problem. And then you've got addiction. And these are some of the major causes that have led to this pandemic of homelessness, this epidemic of homelessness. And so now during the pandemic, homeless people around the world have been pushed into an even more precarious situation than ever before. It's bad enough to be homeless, but to be homeless during a pandemic is really bad because now you are even more vulnerable to the pandemic. So in our very first clip in this show, we're going to look at the global situation of homelessness and how it's being impacted by COVID-19.
Homeless during a pandemic. In the French capital, Paris, healthcare workers deliver masks, sanitizer, and food to rough sleepers. In Rome, volunteers conduct temperature checks to test for a fever. Scenes like these are playing out all over the world. Whether living on the streets or in close-knit communal shelters, homeless people are especially vulnerable to COVID-19. As cold weather bites in some parts of the world, they face a double threat. Many homeless people are older and have underlying medical conditions which leave them at increased risk for severe illness. Homelessness organisations say social distancing and hygiene measures are often all but impossible to maintain.
Okay, this is a global problem. This is something that we obviously have to consider. What kind of solutions can we put in place to try to solve this problem? And I have a guest who I'm waiting for him to arrive, who is saying, closer than anyone else out there, the ravages that this pandemic has caused on the lives of people as it relates to homelessness. And hopefully he'll get here soon. He's running a few minutes late. But Bishop Walter Hanchell from Great Commission Ministries is my guest this morning. And he is on the front lines, people. Now, guys, I'm not saying myself on this StreamYard feed, so, okay, just so y'all know. Yeah, he's on the front lines of this problem. And he's going to bring to us today some very sobering information about what is really happening out there. Because sometimes I wonder whether or not our leaders are living in a bubble. And Marvin's store is saying, we can't see you. Yeah, we know. We're working on that right now, Marvin. My guest is now walking into the studio. You're going to sit over here. So, guys, what should I do with regard to the Facebook feed? Okay, they're working on that. Okay, Bishop Angel, you come strolling in here like you early.
Sorry.
The man comes strolling, y'all. I need you to put on those headphones for me, please.
Okay, thank you.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I need you to go as close to that microphone as you can, because we want to make sure that we can hear you well. Now, just so you know, we are streaming live on Facebook. They're having some technical issues, y'all. So I'm glad that you could at least continue to hear us. And they're going to get the video up momentarily. But Bishop, there it is. Bishop, welcome to GPS. Is this your first time on my new show?
That's right. It's a pleasure to be here, and I want to congratulate you for what you're doing. An amazing job educating, informing, and just getting the word out to the Bahamian people. It's so important, and you are such a valuable asset to this nation, Michelle. You don't know what you mean to us, but we thank God for you and for your voice.
Thank you. Now, one of my producers is going to come in here now and make sure that your camera is set so we can see you well on for our Facebook feed. So in the meantime, Facebook, you're just going to be able to hear him until they get his camera sorted out. See, if he'd show up on time, that would have been done. So you can't blame us for this one because he come late.
I apologize.
I draw in lowness now. Oh, there it is. Okay. See, there's work fast. Okay. We can see you now. So you're going to be looking. There's a little camera right there in front of you. That's where you're going to be looking as we speak. And guys, I'm going to need one of you to come in and pull down. Something is like right blocking his face in front of the camera. So I'm going to need you guys to come and deal with that for us, please. So Bishop, no, let them deal with it. Let them deal with it. You are on the front lines. You dealing every day with people. That's good, Marisha. Come back. Right there's good. You're dealing every day with people who are in a desperate place.
Yes.
Don't know where the next meal is coming from. Don't have a roof over their heads. I woke up this morning, and the first thing I said was, Lord, I thank you that I have a roof over my head. I thank you, Lord, that I have food in my house. I thank you, Lord. I have shelter. I thank you, Lord, because the art of saying, go there, but for the grace of God, go I.
That's right.
What are we seeing happening out there as it relates to this serious pandemic of homelessness?
Well, first of all, we take a lot of things for granted in the Bahamas. I've never seen our country the way it is right now, and for the way things look right now, it only could get better. It could only get better because we've reached a level where Bahamians are literally starving, where Bahamians find themselves on the street, ordinary Bahamians being evicted.
Who didn't have a problem sustaining themselves before?
Before COVID, but they are struggling with.
That's better. Come closer. Yeah.
They're struggling with being evicted, no jobs, and all kind of things happen because people don't have any income, and they reach a level of poverty. The poverty level in the Bahamas is really, really increased. I mean, I probably tripled in my view. And subsequently, all of our people are really, really struggling. I mean, thousands of Bahamians. Everywhere I go, my phone rings off the hook, people calling just to find out if they could get a meal or if they could find someplace to sleep. Even today, this morning, I already had a couple of calls. People needing shelter, needing accommodations because they have nowhere to sleep. We've had mothers sleeping in their vehicles and with their children, with their clothing, nowhere to shower, nowhere to bathe, no toilets. And you've had mothers staying in abandoned buildings out of desperation, living on the beach. Michelle, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. I don't want to paint a picture worse than it is, but I can tell you it's really, really bad. And in addition to that, it seems as though, it seems as though there's not much hope. And our job is to give people hope and let them know that things will turn around, things will get better. And I want to say to those mothers out there who might be listening and those fathers who are struggling, and it pains me when I see fathers come to me crying because they simply don't have no food for their children. Fathers, grown men crying, weeping tears because there's no food. They cannot provide food, just the basic necessity of life, food for their children. And so something has to be done. Something has to be done. And we've been lobbying and begging the powers that be to please do something about this. And I know that the Department of Social Services has done some work. They reach out to people to a certain degree. But if somebody is homeless, they have nowhere to stay, and you give them 1 week in a facility to stay, and when that week is over,
and then what?
They have nowhere to go. They're still homeless. You still didn't really help them. You helped them for a week. And so we need permanent solutions to this homelessness problem. Permanent solutions. This country has tons of buildings just sitting vacant with rooms and facilities that could be used, just sitting vacant. Hotel rooms that are vacant. And there's no reason why our government cannot negotiate to purchase one of these buildings or rent one of these buildings that could house maybe about 100, 200 persons and reduce this homelessness, this homeless problem. You know, it irks me that they take this thing so lightly and would not fight on behalf of the suffering Bahamian people. You know, people struggling, people can't even bathe, and they have all these resources that are owned by the Bahamian people. That's the sad thing about it. All the money that the government has in their resources belong to the Bahamian people. So why not take care of the people who need the help? You know, and that's why crime is increasing. Even white collar crime is increasing because people just one is struggling just to survive. Thousands of Bahamians are just in survival mode. They're just living to eat, nothing else. They can't pay no bills. Whatever they have, they've already lost, or in the process of losing. Houses are being repossessed every single day. Every day, people losing their homes, people being evicted out of their houses and their apartments. So we need a permanent solution to this homeless problem. And a few months ago, when last year when COVID first started, around about April or May, but I sent a letter out to the government officials and they acknowledged it. I sent it to the Prime Minister and with some recommendations. And one of the recommendations was to purchase the Town Center Mall, not the Town Center Mall, the Town Motel, Town Motel, and utilize that facility for the homeless people out from Dorian and also from the pandemic.
How many rooms is that hotel? How many people can that accommodate?
At least 150.
Okay.
150 to 200. That would have been ideal.
And what was the response?
The response was nothing happened. Nothing.
Did they have even acknowledged?
They acknowledged the letter.
All right.
And they thanked me for the recommendations. But nothing was done. Absolutely nothing. The people are still suffering. If they had done that, a lot of people would not find themselves in the dilemma that they're in right now. So the government has to be proactive, man. And I'm just tired of people just allowing people to suffer. It's as though you don't have no heart, no compassion. I'm tired of that. And I'm going to speak out against it more because I consider it to be a form of evil when you allow people to suffer, when people are being oppressed, when people are just barely making it, when the cost of living is too high in the country for everybody. Even the middle class cannot afford the cost of living in this country. I want to talk about the poor, but I don't see how people survive in our country because you go in the food store and everything is sky high. You can't afford the items that are in the food store. You can't eat healthy because the healthy food is out of reach. So I'm calling on everybody to open up their mouth, to speak, and to let our leaders know that we need to fix this problem and we need to fix it now.
Yeah. Well, while you're talking about eating healthy, one of my newest sponsors is the Gladstone Road Farmers Market. And I want to encourage you, if you're listening, to support the farmers market. They're open every Friday and Saturday. And here's why. Because I stopped shopping for produce in the food store long time. Because what you can get from the farmers market is so much cheaper. Healthy food grown locally, so much cheaper than what you would have to spend in the food store. But I know it's all the way out in Gladstone Road. So unless you're in that area, and you may have a difficult time getting there. But it's unfortunate, but we have to come to the place where we start thinking along those lines. What do I need to do to cut back on the little, to cost the little that I have to spread even more? But it's truly a systematic problem that we have as it relates to this homelessness, because this was a problem even before the pandemic.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the pandemic has only made it worse. So
I realized, Michelle, that, and somebody told me this a long time ago, and I proved it to be true. Whenever something is bothering you, you got to fix it.
This is true.
You're called to fix it. Like this problem is bothering me so much that we have decided to step up our efforts and complete a 70-bed homeless shelter, a state-of-the-art shelter on Carmichael Road. We must get this building completed. That means 70 persons, families, men, women, and children could come off the street and be in a safe house, with getting almost like a hotel. And we're going to finish that building. One of our directors, Mr. Lyndon Mann, is head of that project. And very soon, probably before the end of this month, we're going to be announcing that officially. And we're going to be raising $1.4 million to complete that facility. I believe that's our assignment. Great Commission has to finish that building and take people off the street.
You know what's so sad, Bishop? You have some people right within this country who could write you all a check for $1.4 million today and not even feel it.
I know.
Not even feel it. That's like pocket change for some people right in this country. And the sad thing is, these are the people who are making their wealth, gaining their wealth on the backs of the very people that they don't seem to give 5 cents about or care what is happening to these people. We have some extremely wealthy people in this country. And I want y'all to understand what I mean when I say wealthy, because it's different. I think it was Chris Rock. One comedian was talking about the difference between wealthy people and rich people. So he used as an example. He said, "Your leading NBA player today." Well, I hardly watch anymore, so I don't know who's out there anymore. But it's let's say whoever, big name. Okay, Brady, football. Brady is rich, right?
He's worth 250 million.
He rich.
Yeah. No, he's wealthy.
No, he rich.
He rich. Okay.
The people who own the team,
Are wealthy.
they wealthy.
Okay, I got you.
You understand the difference? So we have some rich people in this country, but we also have a handful of wealthy people. One handful, maybe 2 handfuls. Very wealthy people. They pass rich.
Yeah.
I say wealthy people.
Yeah. Multi.
$1.4 million is pocket change for them. Some people around here making that in a day. $1.4 million is pocket change for them. But they will not put their money into something as needed as this to benefit the very people who they making their money off of. They'll blow $50,000 on champagne for a party.
Yep.
But they ain't gonna give you that $50,000 to help build a shelter. What's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with human beings?
Well, people live as though they're going to live on this earth forever. They forget that they're going to have to die and leave everything behind. Leave it right here. And I spoke to a gentleman recently about this, this wealthy man. And people wonder why. They wonder if we're supposed to just fold up and die. But no, we can fight. Because even the Christian church has responsibility to make sure that people have beds to lay their heads on. It's not just the government's responsibility. The church has a role, and civil society has a role. But when it comes to Christianity, Michelle, Jesus said some things in Matthew chapter 25. Matthew 25. He said, I was hungry and you gave me food, thirsty and you gave me drink, naked and you clothed me. He said, I was a stranger and you took me in prison and you visited me. And his disciples said, Lord, when saw we you hungry or thirsty or naked or in prison? And Jesus said to them, he said, as you do it to the least of these my brethren, you've done it unto me. But the story didn't end there. Jesus went further, and somebody asked him, he said, Lord, Jesus said he's going to take this for us now, this for the Christians. He said, either we are sheep or goat in the kingdom of God. It's only sheep and goats. And he's going to take all the sheep and put them on the right, all the goats and put them on the left. The goats would be those persons who refuse who harden their hearts against people who are suffering and struggling. They see them and they do nothing. Those are the persons that are in danger. People who refuse to help the poor. And I realized then, Michelle, that a person's salvation is not just based on faith in God. It's deeper than that. It's based also on how we treat one another, how we care for one another. And when we refuse to help the poor, it's a sign that we are against God. Because Jesus said, I'm going to put you all on the left. And that's the people who will be lost forever. Not because of these terrible sins like murder and rape and all that. No. A sin worse than that. A sin of hardening your heart and refusing to love and help your fellow man. And a lot of people can be shocked, I believe, on that day, on Judgment Day, when we have to all give an account for how we treated people, for the resources that God put in our hands, for the way we've been selfish and greedy, and how we allow money to become our gods. And so the day of reckoning is coming, and I just pray that people's hearts would change before then. I know that we all have issues, and nobody is perfect, and everybody got something they're struggling with. But it's time now for us as a nation to really start caring and sharing with each other as we used to do in days past. Our people have changed. I thank God for the people that reach out to Great Commission and other agencies like Great Commission that care for the poor. I thank God for the people that help us every day, the donors, the individuals that come into the office and help, and those who bring food and meat, because what we're doing is such a big task. We cannot do it alone. We depend on the public, we depend on persons, but every day we have a few thousand vehicles pass Great Commission every single day on Wolf Road. They pass it and they don't even look that way. They see the crowds, the people hurting, and they wouldn't even stop and say, here's $100 and here's $500 and or whatever they could do. Here's some food. And they just pass day after day, year after year. They wouldn't even stop. And I said, how could people do this? And we see people on the street struggling and begging for money, and rather than take $1 out and give them $1, people screw up their glass and turn on the air conditioning and just pass them and leave them right there. We'll all give an account for those things one day, and I hope that the hearts of our people would change, and people who could help will help. And God gave you those resources. God didn't bless you just for you. When God bless you for others, for you and for others, not just for you and your family. The Bible said the earth is the Lord's. God owns everything. You don't own nothing. We own absolutely nothing. God owns everything. God even owns your children. You own absolutely nothing. So God expects us to take care of one another, to love one another, to be aware that when people are hurting, when people are crying out, and sometimes you shouldn't wait for people to ask you for something before you give it to them. Why don't some of us learn how to give before somebody asks? You see them in need, and they might have a little pride in them and they don't want to ask, but they're hurting. Give them something. And when you give people things, don't tell your left hand or your right hand what the left hand did. Keep it secret. Don't boast and brag about what you did to help people. It damages them. So if you help somebody, stop boasting about it. And we shouldn't be going into the media and saying I did this and posting stuff on Facebook and on social media. No, man, come on, do your alms in secret. That's how you get blessed. If you're telling people about it, the Bible says you have no reward, because that's your reward right there. No reward from God, no reward in heaven. We got to do things the way Jesus did it, with no motive, out of pure love. Love in your heart. We need a people now with love. The Bahamas has become, some people have become so cold and heartless and callous when it comes to helping people. But I thank God for those who are compassionate, and there's still many of them that are compassionate that love people, that love to help. And yeah, there was a time, Michelle, when people used to come to Great Commission and the Salvation Army and Red Cross, and they would come in droves to volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
That don't happen anymore. People come to volunteer and they looking for something, you know. They looking for a little
To get paid.
yes, you know. My God, I've been working for Great Commission now for 33 years. I've not gotten the first salary yet, the first dollar, because what I do, I don't do it for money. Instead of taking, I give. My wife and I have given all of our resources to Great Commission to help people. I could have been a rich man, but we sacrifice everything that we have to take care of those struggling and hurting people. And listen to me, if we had to do it all over again, we'll do it the same way, because God called us to give, to sacrifice, to help. And but again, I want to commend those who help us. Our board of directors, excellent people, doing a great job. And while I remember one of our board members are in the hospital sick right now, Mr. Mervyn Sweeting, I want you to remember to pray for him. He's very ill, and he's been a board member for over 30 years, and he owns Bertha's Go-Go Ribs. And you know,
I know Merv very well.
yeah,
Mhm.
and Mervyn for years, for over 25 years, every single week, his business would send enough food to feed on a Tuesday and feed everybody. Just Saturday past, every Saturday we go on the streets and we give out food to people who live on the streets. You know, we have a group of people that actually live on the streets. They have no home, and we feed them every day. But Saturday past, we went out and Bertha's Go-Go Ribs supplied all the food that we would have given out to persons who live on the streets. And we go into some homes, Michelle, where I've been to a home recently,
Bishop,
off East Street.
I want you to stick a pin in that because we have to take a commercial break. So let's
Okay.
take this break, and then when we come back, you can talk more about that story that you're about to share with us. Stay with us, everybody. This is GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM.
Stop letting these other guys run you hot while looking for ice. No need to check the food store, the gas station, conveniently located around Nassau. Cooler Ice. So for just $3 you can get a bag of ice whenever you want, or refill your 5-gallon bottle for the same $3. The ice machine is closer than you know. Cooler Ice. With locations at Arawak Key, Potters Key Dock, Montague Boat Ramp, Superwash locations at Prince Charles, Carmichael Road, Soldier Road, Charles Saunders Highway, and 3 new locations: Superwash Nassau Street, Wolf Road, and Gibbs Corner. Cooler Ice Bahamas, fresh and ready whenever you are.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466. At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
And we're back. This is GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. My host is Bishop Walter Hanchell of Great Commission Ministries. We're talking homelessness in the Bahamas and this pandemic. And the problem, as we would have heard from Bishop in the first segment of the show, was bad enough before COVID-19 started to wreak havoc around the world. And now, since the pandemic has caused so many economies around the globe to all but crash, many people now find themselves in a position that they never dreamt they would, and that is homeless, nowhere to lay their head. And we're seeing so many Bahamians now who are finding themselves in that category. I want you to scroll the contacts, please, the telephone and call lines. The text line is 828-2543. 828-2543 is the number if you want to send a text. And the call line is 828-3543. 828-3543 is the number to call if you want to have your voice heard here on the show. Of course, you can leave a comment on Facebook, and we will go ahead and show a couple of them. If you haven't already done so, like and share the show, people. Like and share the show. We need to get the word out that we have some people who are in desperate need of help. Let's look at a couple of the comments here on Facebook. Florina Pratt says, I respect Bishop. He is a good man. And she also says, I thank God too, Michelle. God is good. I haven't worked from September, and I thank God for a roof over my head. You got to be grateful, no matter what position you find yourself in. Chandria Francis says, thank God for men of God like you, Bishop Hanchell, in this nation who still have a heart for the poor. Let's see, we have another one by Florina again, says our country's in a serious state. Dale Charlo says, I have the utmost respect for the work that Mr. Hanchell does. He feeds hundreds daily. I witness this with my own eyes daily. He's a man who knows how it feels to be down low and has never forgotten. He doesn't push religion on people. He pushes love, and many have found the love of God through him. Blessings and love, PGF. Let's see. One more. Keonique, So Smooth Mackenzie says, build a permanent shelter. Well, we did hear Bishop say that they are working on that as we speak. And obviously they need some support, and encouraging all of you to give to Great Commission Ministries as much as you can, whether it be food or finances or even just volunteering your time. I am sure that they could use the help. So prior to the break, Bishop, you started to tell us a story of a particular situation, and I interrupted you so that we could take the commercial break. You wanna go back into what you had started to describe to us?
Yes, it's not a unique story. We've seen it happen over and over in Nassau, where we would go into somebody's house, just see how they're doing, check on them, and as we enter the house, we find out that absolutely there's no food in the house. And that hurts me when I see that. Could you imagine you going in somebody's house, you look in the cupboards, there's nothing in the cupboards. The cupboard's empty. You go in the fridge is empty, only water in the fridge. And when you see things like that, and sometimes you wonder, how is this possible? How is this possible in the Bahamas with all of the resources that we have here in this country? Why do we have so many poor people in the Bahamas? Why have our country not been empowered? Why after almost 50 years, 48 years of independence, we are still poor. We own nothing. The country owns nothing. Bahamians own nothing. All of our major industries are owned by foreigners. Why have our leaders allowed this to happen? Have they sold us out? Why? How are we going to fix this? How are we going to correct this? Why is it that the Bahamas has over 3 million acres of land, crown land, and Bahamians own no land? We have most Bahamians with no land. Only a certain class can afford to purchase land. Why is it? Why can the government not give every single Bahamian an acre of land? If they do that, they will still have 2.6 million acres of land left sitting. Why is it that tourists can get 10,000 acres and foreigners can get, and investors can get 5,000 acres and all these acres free, and Bahamians cannot get 1 acre of land? Come on, man, something is wrong with this. We need to fix this. It is my view that our leaders have failed the Bahamas, the PLP and FNM, have failed our country, have failed our people. And it's time now for the Bahamian people to rise up and take our country back. Poverty is painful. To me, poverty is a crime. There should be no. Why can't we wipe out poverty in the country? Do our leaders want the people to remain poor and depending on them and looking for handouts? No, man. We got to change that picture. And I'm calling on the government to initiate some programs that would empower Bahamians, that Bahamians could own. And it should begin with land. Land is wealth. Every Bahamian should own at least 1 acre of land. And they could put stipulations in there. You can't sell it for 99 years. You have to develop it. But not only should they give the land, but I'm asking the government to also make sure that the land has infrastructure, so people could develop it and could live there and if it's a rental spot, they could rent it, or use it for Airbnb, whatever. So let's empower our people, man. People are suffering, and we have all these resources. Then we have all these natural resources that they're doing nothing with. The Bahamas is one of the wealthiest countries in the world, and the natural resources has not benefited one single Bahamian.
Well, it's benefited a few.
Yeah, a few.
Yeah.
The oligarchs.
A very few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But I'm talking about the masses. It does not benefit the masses.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. I speak on behalf of the poor.
No, I get it.
And the middle class.
I get it. Trust
so I'm
me,
not,
do.
Those are the folks, they straight.
But you're talking about why they don't empower the people. Well, then that would be a problem for them. Here's a thought from Florina Pratt, a comment on Facebook. She says, Bishop, they don't care about us. They like the people having to come to them crawling. This makes them feel powerful, but I want them to know God is watching them. You can't tell me that the powers that be are not aware of the need out there. You can't tell me that they don't know what needs to be done to address the problem. But you can tell me that perhaps it is not in their best interest to do some of the things that you're suggesting because of what Florina just suggested, that they want to keep the people dependent to a degree.
Yes.
So that they can maintain their power. What are your thoughts on that?
Exactly. I agree with that. And but see, what we need to do moving forward, we need to correct that. That's a problem. We need leaders now with a different mindset. This country needs. We don't need no more politicians. We need leaders. We need people who would lead the country, who would help the country, who would change some things, and we need radical leaders who will stand up and say, for example, the financial system that is being enforced from the UVP days, even before the PLP came into power, that's been there from the UVP, where Bahamians, in particular Black Bahamians, cannot benefit from the financial system. They have laws and regulations that make sure that Bahamians cannot do certain things. A foreigner can do things right here in the Bahamas in terms of U.S. dollars and bringing in money and having money used that Bahamians cannot do. And they need to fix that. That's wrong. Too much regulation, too much pressure, too much rules against Bahamians and the foreigners. They do anything they want to do in our country, they could do. If a Bahamian cannot bring in $50 million in this country, cannot. But a foreigner could.
Well, Bishop, I don't know. Because when you say a foreigner, that is true for the high end and on the low end. Because we see what's going on in Abaco now with the shantytown going back up. It's like the foreigners have more rights in the Bahamas than Bahamians do. So that's not only true for the wealthy. That's even true for the illegal immigrant who comes here and could just go take a plan and build and then say it'll be a problem if you tear this down. It's a problem.
Yeah, the problem is the politicians.
Yes.
The
fact that the politicians have to answer to the oligarchs.
It's time now for the Bahamian people to rise up and get rid of them. Election is coming up. Get rid of them and put people in power who have a heart for the Bahamian people, who have a heart to change some things, who have a heart to stamp out corruption and this heartlessness and this oppression that's over this nation. It's hard. This country is hurting. We are bleeding. And it seems as though nobody wants to do anything. But God is going to raise up somebody. God's going to raise up a Moses to deliver this country. And if we believe that Sir Lyndon Pinland was Moses, God will raise up a Joshua who will take us into the promised land. Because I thank God for Sir Lyndon. I really thank God for Sir Lyndon and all that he did and sacrificed for our country. But since Sir Lyndon, nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. Sir Lyndon Pinland brought us to the entrance of the promised land, but we've never had a Joshua to take us into our promised land. That's why Bahamians are suffering so much. Nobody could smile. But I want to say today that God gonna make somebody smile soon. God can turn things around for our benefit. Because the Bible says when the poor man cry out to the Lord, and the Lord delivered him out of all his troubles, out of all his fears. And if I'm asking for Bahamians to get on your knees and cry out to God and say, God, I can't take this no more. Lord, I'm tired of this oppression. I'm tired of this suffering. Cry out to God. God will raise up somebody, and God will heal this land and turn us around. But we got to also repent as a people. The Bahamas has become a very wicked nation, just like America. Everything America does, we do, and we follow suit. It's time now for us to turn back to God as a country, and forget about all these things of pleasure and all this immorality. It's time for us to turn to God as a nation. Say, God, have mercy on us. Yeah. For God said, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves, we got to humble ourselves and pray and cry out to him, seek his face, and turn from our wicked ways. And God said he will heal this land. And I believe healing is ahead for us. So we got to just do what God says.
I'm glad you brought up the thing about that, because, we are very, very good at hypocrisy in the Bahamas. Especially us in the church. A lot of people within the church supported Donald Trump because of his policies. Obviously not so much because of his morality, because, he obviously didn't have very much of that, but they liked his policies. I get that. But, Biden came in and he appointed one man who was openly married to another man. And then he appointed somebody else who's a transgender. And then I start hearing things like, oh, you see, Biden come in and in the first month we done have Sodom and Gomorrah. And I'm saying to myself, you think we don't have gay people in leadership in this country? Let's stop being hypocritical.
Yes.
Because if it's sin,
it's sin.
Openly, it's
wrong.
sin privately as well.
Right. That's right.
So let's not pretend that we ain't got these issues in this country. I was talking to somebody yesterday about the epidemic of children in this country being sexually abused and molested, boys and girls, many of them from men in the pulpit. Yes, I said it. But we turn a blind eye to that.
Michelle, if you could tell me who they are, I will deal with them.
So
anybody know of any preacher, any minister who are abusing children? Please send me a text. Send me some evidence. Send me some information, and I will deal with that pastor.
God ain't like man. And I honestly think that a lot of the problem is we just don't have a reverence for God. And so we just think we could do all these things and nothing will come of it. But every rope have an end. Every rope have an end. But that's another show. So let's stay focused on what we're supposed to be talking about today, which is homelessness, because that's a whole other show. And I think I could touch that. I think I got in there. But let's stay focused. Let's talk about homelessness. What would you like to see? You already gave us one idea about the hotel, taking over the abandoned hotel. What are some of the things that the recommendations that you made to the government? Tell us some of the things that you would like to see happen from a governmental level to try to help alleviate this problem of homelessness.
Okay, first of all, I told them what could be done is to make monies available for small business.
But they are doing some. I mean, they have the Small Business Development Center. You don't think that's doing enough? Or they're not doing enough?
No, far too little. Far too little.
Okay.
That's just
Why do you say that?
Because small business is what runs the economy. And just last week, I had a revelation about small business. And this is the revelation that I got. Every single person in this country, every single person could be a small business owner. Every person could own a business. You might only have one product, and you're going to have to buy all of your other products from somebody else, but everybody could start a small business and generate income for yourself. That's empowerment. Let's empower the small man. Let me think about small business. You think about these big established businesses, but I'm talking about small, even a mom and pop shop. Get them started, and that could grow. But make that, have the opportunity available for those things. The government has done some things, but it's not at the level that it should be done. And then we asked them to get about $2 billion and make it available for persons who will be evicted. It has happened. Just as I predicted, it has happened. And provide housing for these people, permanent housing, or a business opportunity where they could, and I'm not talking about loans now, because they like to talk about loan. I'm talking about grants.
Okay, Bishop, we have a caller on the line, so let's go to this call, and then I'm going to pick up where you left off at. Caller, welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift. You're on the air. Just a second, ma'am. We can barely hear you. My producer's coming into the studio now to see if he can turn up the volume on the call. Okay, go ahead and speak again for me. Oh, she called the wrong line. Oh, you called a text line. Okay, sorry. Call us back on 828-3543. 828-3543 is the number to call. Okay, you called us on the text line. That's why we can't hear you. Okay. So she hung up. So I'm thinking she's going to call right back. So again, the call line is 828-3543, and here she is calling now. So I'll go ahead and pick that up. Hello and welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift. You're on the air.
Hi, good day. Great show as usual. I'm so glad that I found you. You're such an excellent journalist.
Thank you so much.
The topic is so timely, but we as a people need to empower ourselves. It is so sad and sickening that the government officials could comfortably go down to Abaco and talk about what's going on there when many of our own Bahamians are homeless. If one person took even a fraction of their constituency allowance to assist with homelessness, it will help. But we need to empower ourselves. I heard what Minister Hanchell said about the small business allocation, but a lot of our individuals are not empowered. They are happy and contented with just waiting on the MP to give them a ham or turkey or a bag of grocery, and they're happy as they run behind them in flocks and in droves after suffering for 4 years. They're happy, and you see them waving their shirts, and they're just happy. The individuals need to be empowered. They have to have a self-worth, and you hit the nail when you talk. You have to value God. God is your source, not man.
All right. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much for calling. Bishop, how do you respond to that caller?
She's correct. She's correct. We've gotten to the point where we allow just the MPs to control the masses by giving them a little token, but no empowerment. And then another thing, talking about these MPs, I'm so disappointed in the MPs, the FNM MPs. I am so disappointed in them. These people know exactly what this country is going through before they went into Parliament, and they see all this pain and suffering and hurt, and all they do is keep their mouth zipped. They wouldn't say one thing. They wouldn't do a thing. They just quiet. I'm sick and tired of seeing it. If you are appointed to you've been elected to lead and represent a constituency, why are you quiet? And when you see your people hurting and suffering so much, say something.
We have another call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift.
Good afternoon.
Hi, you on the air?
Yeah. Good afternoon, Michelle.
Hi, good afternoon.
What I don't understand is, I know I'm young on earth, and the thing I don't understand is, if we look historically at what's been going on to humanity overall, and even the development of this country and as a nation, as a people of the Bahamas, I mean, it's just been bad decisions after 100 years, after another 500 years, and now down to where we are in the year 2021, and it's just still bad decision making. The world is filled with a global pandemic. It's just caused so much more problems to just, expound and expand in ways that people can't even imagine and even deal with. But yet at the same time, it's not like the answers are some mystery to us all. And that's what I just can't seem to get. Because I have just a regular high school education, and the things that I learned in school, I'm seeing not being applied in day-to-day regular thinking. Yeah. We have architects, we got building supply stores, things are being shipped from country to nation and everything. We have all the stuff we have here. We got land that's basically been held hostage for centuries now that we have a title on called Crown Land. And basically that's just land that's being held hostage away from the people who live here versus the people who don't live here on a day-to-day basis. And then we got foreigners who are immigrants, illegals coming in and building and not even being challenged. And I can't develop nothing. I owe my landlord rent and he wants his money. And so it makes absolutely no sense, the type of thinking that's been going on for centuries now. We're so hard to figure out that we use the natural resources to build a home. We just need so much land to build a home. What's so hard about that? Why are we basing our survival upon metal, coins, paper, and then we use numbers to say you need value for money? We live and breathe. When you wake up, you're not depositing a certain amount into your body to say to get up. What is going on with humans? We have intelligence. We speak of a God, a creator. Are we disrespecting the God's intelligence? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing as prime ministers and queens and all the United Nations and leaders and bankers and financiers with all this wisdom and scientific achievements and Nobel Prizes? What kind of prizes, what kind of honorees are these men and women? Huh? What kind of leadership are they really doing over the people of the nation? Animals know how to take care of themselves and know how to put themselves in their proper orders and live from day to day better than humans who know how to make space machines to leave the earth and put satellites and all around the earth, and yet we are living worse than the animals. How smart are we? Just how advanced are we? Okay? This is a bunch of nonsense, the way humans are being governed and being led and being made to think as to this is what you need in order to survive. I wake up every day and there's no money that gets me up. and people want to put money in my hand and say, thank you for the service that I provided, that money is meaningless to the service that I provide for any person who I work for. It has absolutely no value in comparison to me pumping gas into a person's car, okay? That is meaningless. What is valuable is the person's knowledge on how to provide the service. If I put on a doctor's suit, but I have no idea on what to do with a person's body, then that suit and the paperwork means nothing. We have values about human and values about what it means to be rich and poor in the wrong complete understanding. The whole education system currently of humanity is a bunch of nonsense, and it's teaching people how to live on this planet wrong. This planet, I'm sorry, but we are being governed wrong, and it's illegal and criminal what is happening to humanity overall, and especially in a nation where it's supposed to be independent. We are not independent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have other callers. Okay, go ahead, Bishop. I want you to respond to that, please.
Well, I can feel his heart, his cry. I guess he's voicing the views of many others. The fact that we have leaders, international leaders, global leaders, with the same mentality, where they just focus on things and not on people. People are more important than things. Our values should be focused around service, around helping, around ministry. And the fact is, not only have our leaders here failed us, but a lot of other leaders, I guess it's just as the Bible talks about the system of this world and the kingdom of God. They are diametrically opposed to each other. And he's on point. The fact is, we serve a different kingdom. We are in this world, but not of this world. We need to, the Bahamian people and need to go back to just simple kingdom principles.
Okay, we do have another caller, so let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift. You're on the air.
Yes, good day. That's me.
Yes, you're on the air.
Yes, I wanted to say good day to yourself, Ms. Malcolm, and Bishop Hanchell. As I said earlier in the text, I respect what he does on a daily basis. I see it in my eyes. I've seen people who have grown from it, from on the street drug dealers to man of principle. And what is good about what's happening today is he is offering concrete solutions. And that basically is what is missing so much from our daily discourse. People are complaining and complaining, but they're not offering solutions. And what is most important, as someone else said, we have everything here in the Bahamas that we need to succeed, from natural resources to human resources. And we have Bahamians around the world, the globe, who are aching to come home and contribute, but the environment does not exist. It's difficult enough for us here who are on the ground here in the Bahamas to come together to make a change. Because basically right now we're all suffering and struggling. There are people who are of high directorship and learning who are paycheck to paycheck or about to be evicted. And this, it's a real matter. It's not just the people on the street, as the Bishop Hanchell said, from the middle class. The middle class is being decimated. But we need, because we have all of...
that caller has dropped. Okay. Bishop, how do you respond to what that person said before the call dropped?
Well, he's on point. We need to we recommend solutions. I wish we had a government who would listen. We recommend solutions and they ignore it. I'm talking about simple, practical things that could be done to solve so many problems, to heal so much hurt all at one time. And it seems as though our country is going backwards. I feel as though that the leaders are not aware, or they're hiding, putting their heads in the sand, and they can't feel what the Bahamian people are feeling, and they take it as a joke. They take it as a joke. But listen to me, people can rise up one day and say, I had enough. I've suffered enough. I've cried enough. I need to take my country back. I need change. And change is coming. Change is coming to the Bahamas. And you'll be surprised to know the type of people who are going to cry out. But we need solutions, and we need action. The politicians talk too much. I'm sick and tired of just hearing and these promises, and nothing is happening. They promise us so many things that
Promises
they have
a
not
comfort
delivered.
to a fool. My Grammy tell me that.
That's right, but I ain't no fool. So you got to, when you promise me something, you got to deliver. And if you don't deliver what you promise, I'll be making some noise.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a commercial break. They play the music, so that means Michelle, go to this break. Stop talking. So we're going to take this commercial break. And then we come back. We're going to continue with our conversation about homelessness in the Bahamas. It was bad before the pandemic, y'all. It's really bad now. Stay with us. More on that on the other side of this break.
Located on Carmichael Road, Divine Designs Hair Boutique is a haven for women and men looking for professional beauty services. Our state-of-the-art and contemporary equipment creates a relaxing ambiance for you to enjoy while we cater to you. Need a hairstylist? We cater to all types and textures of hair for care and styling. We even have a barber on duty. Need a nail tech? Our technicians provide a range of nail services, including the latest trends. Unwind in one of our massage chairs while you get your pedicure. With our reasonable rates, friendly staff, and over 20 years of experience, you will be in great hands. Call us at 823-1669 or 698-1025 to schedule your appointment. Wanna be pampered? Wanna be slayed? Let Divine Designs make your day.
Looking for an extraordinary junior high school with caring, qualified staff and affordable tuition? Then come visit us at Elite School of Excellence, an affiliate of First Step Academy. ABECA-focused and Ministry of Education approved, we foster discipline, integrity, and wisdom while molding our students for success. Call us at 341-8846 or stop by First Step Academy schools on Fire Trail and Soldy Roads for more information. Escape from the city life to Bacon Air Beach Resort in Pirateswell, Mayaguana. Relax in one of 16 air-conditioned rooms just steps away from the ocean. Enjoy scrumptious dishes in our waterfront dining room. Sip on a tropical cocktail, or if you must, stay connected with wireless internet. Nestled on one of the most beautiful beaches in the Bahamas, Bacon Air Beach Resort offers a unique vacation experience. For reservations, call 339-3726 or 463-0182.
Boy, 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 here calamity. Boy, 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 don't want that be me. Let me get this coverage, do it once and for all. Insurance management is who I gonna call.
When calamity strikes, we're here to keep you safe and secure. With offices in Nassau, Freeport, Abacoa, Lutheran, and Exuma. Insurance management, we cover the Bahamas.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm, and my guest today is Bishop Walter Hanchell from Great Commission Ministries. And we're talking about the homelessness problem in the Bahamas, which was pretty bad before the pandemic broke and is even worse now. And what are some of the solutions that we need to put in place to help these people who find themselves out of a home? I'm going to go ahead and read a couple of the comments that we have here on Facebook. Janet Doe says, we need people like you and I to stand up for our people. Then we have Lakira Roker saying, awesome, I hope and pray the rich Bahamians assist you with this. I think she's talking about the building of the shelter.
Hope City.
Yes, Hope City. Okay. Let's see. Young Magic says, really respect this man on a whole other level. Florina says that love is an action word. Janet Doe again says, oh Lord, I hear your voice through this man of God. Please let the people hear your word through this MOG. Let's see, we have another one from Edis Dow, Nerida. It's benefits the thieves and government. Okay. Let's see. Janet Doe again. Wherever I travel, I visit home shelters and the persons there get 3 meals a day, hot baths, something moves, games, fun days. So why can't we help our homeless? Okay. Janet Doe is raising a very, very good question because let me put it this way. After Dorian passed, we created shelters for the mostly illegal immigrants who came from Abaco. We created shelters. We transformed facilities into shelters so that people could have a roof over their head, in the aftermath of the storm. So why are we not seeing the same effort being put into place for Bahamians who have found themselves homeless as a result of this pandemic? What's going on? What am I missing?
Michelle, I have sent persons to the shelters that were the hurricane shelters for the aftermath, Bahamians, and they were not able to get in the shelters. That's wrong. That's wrong.
But I mean, I hear what you're saying, but now, in this very situation right now, we have Bahamians who are on the street. So why are we not seeing shelters, makeshift shelters, being like how they turned the place on Wolf Road opposite the Seventh Day Adventist school? Yeah. They turned that gym into a shelter to house people.
And the Poinciana Arena.
And the Poinciana Arena. So why are we not, or is something happening that I'm not aware of? Am I just not informed, Bishop?
Well, I guess the Bahamians are becoming second-class citizens in our country, and it seems so. Some other folks are getting priority over Bahamians, and that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the gospel truth. With regards to the hurricane shelters, we recommended in detail to the government right after Dorian that they need to build a real shelter in Nassau. Do you know that the Bahamas does not have one shelter? One hurricane shelter? Not one. Nowhere in the country. Not one building was built and designed as a shelter. We use schools and churches and little rooms, whatever we could get, and call them a hurricane shelter. None of those buildings were designed for hurricanes. A building designed for a hurricane should be able to accommodate and withstand winds of over 200 miles per hour. And there must be facilities for bathroom. If you send somebody in a church hall as a shelter, nobody could bathe, nobody could use the bathroom. There's only one bathroom there. So these things are not designed for emergencies, and so we recommend to the government that they build state-of-the-art shelters hurricane shelters that can double as normal shelters all year round. And that can have, you have a doctor there, you have a psychologist there, you have everything there, you have parking, you have games, you have a basketball court on the outside. So, it's a real facility. And of course, it's going to cost some money, but if we build, let's say 2 in Nassau that can accommodate 300-400 persons, and you put one on all of the major family islands, man, that would save so many lives. In Abaco, when Dorian hit, everybody was at risk. Everybody on the island could have died. Only the grace of God kept people alive. Mm-hmm. And but they had nothing. The shelters, all the shelters, folded up because they had no shelters. And we told them to have these things in action for the next hurricane season. The hurricane season is almost upon us now, but I don't think anything is being done.
All right. I want to read one of the comments from our Facebook page. And this is a comment from Dale Charlotte. Dale says, it's time for Bahamians to unite and demand our rights. We can't keep blaming the politicians. We elected them, but we don't pressure them enough. We leave them daily to be pressured by the oligarchs. Their relentless pressure supersedes ours. We need another We March. Unity is our only solution. United we stand, divided we are failing. Now, I will say this in response to that. We March started off as a very, very good thing. It was able to galvanize masses of people to come and say, enough is enough. And then we saw what happened with the person who spearheaded that. He went on to become a senator, and many questioned whether or not that was his ultimate goal to begin with. And so there's this level of distrust of the general public when we hear people saying, oh, we need another We March, because now people question in the back of their mind, is this person really genuine about this cause, or are they looking at this cause as a means to an end? So what do we, Bishop, need to do to galvanize the masses? And I see a lot of traction is being gained by the groups that are pushing for a sovereign wealth fund to ensure that our natural resources are not only just enjoyed by the few, but are benefiting the many. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people are still very skeptical. A lot of people are wondering whether or not this is being done as a means to an end. So what do we do? How do we get our people to come together to demand more from the persons that we have put in power, who seem to have forgotten that we are the ones who they should be answering to? What needs, in your view, what needs to happen to change this system that we find ourselves in?
What needs to happen has already started. Just recently, a group of independent candidates and third parties came together and were looking at how they could come together as an alternative to the two dinosaurs. And what they did was there are a lot of independent candidates, and unity is strength. If you want to fight a system, you want to fight, you got to come together, you got to unite. The only thing the government fears is numbers. And so the independents have come together, and they are now strategizing their plan of action to move this country forward. You cannot change a system without power. It's impossible. Outside of Parliament, you can't change the system unless the people unite. The power is in the people. Once the people come together and the people make demands, and the people, the voice of the people, if it's spoken as one together, things will have to change. Things will change. And that is what is happening right now. The truth of the matter is, Michelle, Bahamians are fed up. Bahamians have seen the same thing with the PLP and the FNM, and the people have gotten to the point where they no longer trust either party. I have voted for the PLP. I have voted for the FNM. I am what you call a swing voter. I vote. I don't hold allegiance to any political party, but I will support any party that I believe is the best party for that time. So subsequently, I voted for all, and all have failed me. To tell you the truth, they have all failed me. So I'm looking to do something new, and I pray that the independents would rise up and take this country. Now, what has happened is God has changed the heart of the Bahamian people. Bahamian people are no more they like that. Like their eyes have been opened. They're no longer diehard PLP and diehard FNM. People are now, their eyes are opening up, and they say, now let me try something else. Every politician has failed me. Every government has failed me. So let me try something else. So the independents are now rising up, and it is my prayer that they would stick together, unite with a good strategy, and take this government, because that's the only way we would see change in this country, because the PLP and the FNM has basically the same plan, and it doesn't include empowering the people. And in order for us to see change, we need a government with a mandate, and their priority is to empower the masses, not the few, the masses, the Bahamian people. And that is what I believe the independents are going after at this time. So I'd like to encourage persons that when an independent candidate comes to your door, don't turn them away. That's your future. That's your hope.
Okay, I have a comment here on Facebook. Someone is, I guess, disagreeing with you to a point. He says, this is Calvin Roll. He says, no independent can win in the Bahamas next election. The Bahamas only vote for two parties. Bishop, I am watching from Ontario, Canada. How do you respond to Calvin?
Well, I totally disagree with that, Calvin. Perry Christie won as an independent. Hubert Ingram won as an independent. You know why? Because the people's heart was for them. People shifted. And you know who win governments? The leader. If people believe in a leader and they trust that leader, and that leader is able to convince them of his plans, they will vote for that leader. So what we need is a leader that people trust, that people believe will get the job done, and they will put those persons in power. You cannot change the system from the outside. You need to get in Parliament, pass laws, pass regulations that would change the whole system. The whole system needs to be reformed that we're under. And the PLP won't do it, the FNM won't do it. Only an independent party is able to do that.
Okay, so I was listening to Adrian and Jonette on the way here, and they were talking about this very same thing.
They were?
Well, their view is if it's a party, they're not independents, and that's a party if they're coming together as opposed to independence. But I will say this, that, around the world, we have seen coalition governments where no particular party has won sufficient seats to form a government, and they have to come together with coalition, form a coalition within the House of Assembly, within their parliament, to form a government. And I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day. I said, they were saying that basically what Calvin was saying, that this is a two-party system and it's either going to be one or the other, and you just got to deal with it. And I was like, here's the thing though. The majority of our voters this next go round will be young people who really don't have no allegiance to nobody.
Exactly.
They really could care less about your PLP and your FNM. They really don't care. And so, the person responded to me and said, well, that's a problem because they don't know their history. That may be the case, but that is the reality in which we live. These young people ain't got no allegiance to your party. So I do think that we are entering into a season of change where we're going to see more and more persons who have decided not to align themselves with any of the major parties entering Parliament. But we shall see what happens.
Michelle, just this week, a group of independents, a matter of fact, for the last couple of weeks, independents have been meeting. A lot of them have been coming together and meeting and strategizing and uniting. I've seen this with my eyes. And they have already formed a party. The party is called the Coalition of Independence. And you're going to be hearing a lot about that, because this group of independents, they're going to make an impact. I am almost certain that you're going to see some independents in the House of Assembly when election is called. And they have a different agenda, a different manifesto. And I believe that these are the ones that will bring a change to this country. And we need them. And I appeal to people to listen to their message, find out what they're saying. I personally, people ask me to run as a candidate. I have no intention ever of running in politics. None, ever. I have no ambition to sit in Parliament. So that's my disclaimer. I will not be putting myself forward for any seat in Parliament. I have a different assignment. I'm going to stick to what God gave me to do, preaching the word and ministering to people. That's my calling, and I wouldn't go outside of that. But anybody else feel led to go into politics, that's between you and God. Do it. But we need leaders now. We don't need no politicians. We need leaders, real leaders with integrity, with character, with compassion, with love, who are bold, who are fearless, who are willing to sacrifice, who are willing to die for the cause. You know the problem with the country? We don't have a cause. Sir Lyndon Pendleton had a cause. Since Sir Lyndon, nobody else, no other prime minister has had a cause. Our prime ministers were just after power, but they had no cause. And there is a cause. There is a cause. The people are suffering, so there is a cause. So the people need a deliverer. The people need somebody who's gonna take them into the promised land. The people need somebody with a heart, and God is going to raise up that person, I believe, in due time.
Okay. The phone line again is 828-3543. 828-3543 is the number to call. 828-3543. And the text line is 828-2543, 828-2543. So I have a message that was sent to us. This one says, people be aware the Minister of Immigration will be in Glory 93.9 on Thursday. We have to ask him these very questions. Who do illegals and persons in shantytowns get away with breaking the law while legal citizens have to comply? It is a law only for one set of people. These people are not adhering to building codes. Okay, so that's another issue you're talking about. I know we touched on it earlier. But today we're talking about homelessness in the Bahamas. We sort of strayed, but it is all interconnected because you have to be willing to or able to identify a grouping that is serious about making the changes that are needed to end this scourge. We have another caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift. You're on the air.
Yes. How you doing, Michelle? And,
hey, C. Allen.
Bishop Hanchell, C. Allen Johnson.
Hey, C. Allen.
Yeah, just let me say that I understand on the homelessness first, the message that Bishop Hanchell has been pushing for a long period of time. As an observer, in fact, Michelle, you and I on another station, we talked about this when the lockdown first occurred. The fact that we were going to be facing a crisis of homelessness, foreclosures, and the likes, and people just thought that we were being somewhat pessimist or negative, when we were basically just looking at what has been done, having read the order. Even when we said that the workers would not be going back to work, people didn't understand that we actually read and saw that the Prime Minister was protecting the business. And 6 months later, people came back and repeated what we said after reading the order.
Yep.
But as I say, you know what you say, the truth has a new home.
Amen. It's Glory 93.9 FM. The truth has a new home.
Right. And so, but just also, I wanted to chime in on I heard you guys talking about a third party concept and the whole dispensation of the new voters, being a person that's totally aware of the demographics of the new voters. I hear the argument about the independence, and one of the greatest detriment to the independence is lack of organization. You can't run an independent campaign from a national standpoint because the individuals that you're appealing to is not within your particular jurisdiction. But let me just first interject too, though. Any coalition of independents, the word coalition basically happens after an election. But the minute